if you're a white man in sort of like 1800-ish, Australia and the U.S., these places are like the best places for you to go. You've got this wide open frontier. It's filled with land. But the big constraint on your production is your ability to mobilize labor. So if you're a small family farmer, the only labor you can mobilize onto the frontier is your kids. But if you're a slave owner, you can basically go to New Orleans, you can take out a loan, use that loan to buy a bunch of slaves in the New Orleans slave market, then take them out to the Alabama frontier and start clearing land and growing cotton. And you're again able to like take the profits from that and expand, buy more slaves, buy more land. And so you can again now think of the slave economy as participating in the circuit of accumulation. But also being a slave owner didn't just mean that you had access to the labor of your slaves, it also meant you had increased access to capital because you can use your slaves as collateral. So if you basically are looking to lend to somebody and they can offer an equivalent amount of slave collateral versus land, you prefer the slave collateral because it's much easier to move them around or resell them or something like that.
So, hello and Happy New Year. I hope you didn't drink too much because the light of truth is ready to shine again. Yeah, I haven't gone anywhere. I know you thought I was done, but this is just the beginning, okay? We still got lots of work to do. Our lives, not only our lives have to be predicated on truth, but our lives have to also be predicated on practicality. That means that we have to get out and do the work. We have to get out and mobilize in effective ways. Okay, we did our protest. Okay, we have people out there on the front lines that had to take their lives for people to listen. Okay, we were able to change one political dynasty or power and change it back. But that's just not the end. Okay? That's not enough. At the end of the day, there has to be more work done. And to do that, okay, especially in this that little clip that I showed you from Capital in the 21st century, we have to understand the nuances, the tricks, for all intents and purposes, how they navigate so that they can maintain their wealth. I made a mistake. I thought Mitch McConnell would get back on board. But in his own little nefarious way, he's trying to keep the status quo. Sure, they passed a budget bill for the defense, but that's because it for all intents and purposes, benefits them. Remember, anything that they do, anything that the white in power does, if they're going to give us some, if they're giving us 2, believe me, they're getting 10. Okay? A lot of them are only jumping ship because they're going to perpetuate what Donald Trump was able to put out on the forefront. all this is going to do is drive them underground. This is going to drive them in, and they're going to go back to the lab, and they're going to think about ways on how to keep things from being equal. Because that's the key. If they could keep things, if they could give you a crumb and you be satisfied with that, they're going to try to find a way to give you that crumb so that you could be satisfied for the next, say, 10, 20 years. But then again, your kids are going to have to deal with that. They'll trade another aristocracy, they'll trade one aristocracy for another. That's the key. When I tell you that black folks sold themselves into slavery, it's true. At the same time, we have to look at what kind of black folks sold us into slavery, because see, those same kind of black folks got money are part of the 10% too. The 1%, excuse me. Okay? And us regular folk, the majority, are going to still suffer. Beyonce giving crumbs. Okay? That's all they're doing now is just to make sure that you don't come storm the gates of the Bastille. That you don't come chopping their heads off. Because they still want their long yachts. They still want, you know what I mean, their big cars. They still want their massive houses. And guess what? They still want their buffer between you and them. Because if there's equality, and I'm not talking about socialism, I'm talking about equality. If there is equality where a person is able to work hard and enjoy the fruits of their labor. Some people, like myself, you just give me enough to make sure I can, feed my sons and leave something for my children. And, I have a decent car and a nice life and a decent girl and that kind of thing. For me, that's all that matters. I don't need much. Okay? But I want to choose how much I'm able to grow. I want to choose that. I don't want you choosing that for me. Just because you see me as a threat to your superiority, whether you be black or white. When Malcolm X talked about the slave mind, he was not only talking about those that didn't have, he was talking about those that did. Okay? That's a broad spectrum. The reason why I tell you to limit your time in the internet is because that's another way of them controlling this. Okay? And they're putting you in a smaller universe than the universe that you're in now. Right? The technology of that is okay, if I can make you buy things online, I can feed your mind subtleties even more effectively than sending you something in the mail or having you watch it on a TV. This new technology that I have, it's new, it's bright, it's fun, it's a splash. Okay, you're on the internet. Now I have your attention. In a smaller world. You can shop how you want. You don't have to go out. You know what I mean? You can shop how you want. You can get all these things. And at the same time, I can make a lot more money, Zuckerberg. Okay? I can make a lot more money servicing you that, having you trust me on that. And at the same time, I throw you crumbs. I throw you some. This is the next big war we have to fight. And see, this kind of fight, this capitalistic kind of fight, this technology kind of fight, this internet kind of fight, is not something that you can do on the internet. Because all of y'all are on Facebook. All of y'all on Instagram. All of y'all on TikTok. You know what I'm saying? So if we're not working, okay, so say for instance, you say, well, okay, Teacher of the Flame, if everybody's on there, how can... What you do is not only do you limit your time on there, but use it surgically, effectively, like I've talked about before. Okay? Mobilize. like they did with the one Trump rally. Those people, the people on TikTok and stuff, bought up all those tickets and didn't go. That's smart. That's how you do it. Now, if we could use that, but use it in a way that's measured. You know, don't do any. The good book, the Bible says, do all things in moderation. Just do things in moderation. You know what I mean? Don't be so extremist about your ideas or anything like that. Make sure that you're doing things in moderation so that you can be even tempered about those changes that come, and be even tempered about what capitalism is and what we need to do to distribute the wealth for everyone. Thank you for watching my videos. I hope you subscribe. Like I said, I don't want a lot of subscribers, but just those who are thoughtful. And hey, I'll see you next time.